Good day to you, sir, and to my fellow group mates. So here we are, the group 4, to present the topic that was given to us about the types of concrete testing, which is the non-destructive testing. So, I am Hannah Obigan, BSc2 non-STEM student, and I am going to present the introduction first about our topic. So, one type of concrete testing is non-destructive testing. Sa mga topic ng ibang mga grupo, sa group 1, 2, 3, 4, which are the compressive test of concrete, flexure test of concrete, and split tensile strength test, they are called destructive tests of concrete. So, sa amin naman, non-destructive tests of concrete. So, let's see what is non-destructive tests, or NDT in short, on concrete. It says here that it is a method of testing existing concrete structures to assess the strength and durability of the concrete structure. So, dito, through this non-destructive test method, we can assess, sabi natin kung matibay pa, okay, yung isang structure. So, sabi dito na existing concrete structures, pwede old structure or new, or yung kagagawa pa lang ng structure. Kaya, pwede matest kung ano yung kalagayan ng structure. Help us to investigate crack depth, micro cracks, and deterioration of concrete. So, hindi lang sa kabuuan, physically, na nakikita natin na maganda pa yung concrete, kundi through this test, malalaman din natin na may crack pa doon sa loob, micro cracks. So, micro means liit. So, pwedeng sa loob ng concrete, kung okay pa ba yung concrete na iyon. In NDT, without loading the specimen to failure, we can measure the strength of concrete. So, dito, kasi sa non-destructive testing, hindi masyadong nagagalaw yung specimen, yung loadings. Kaya, we can measure this. So, hindi natin pwedeng ma-compress or ma-split man, kasi hindi siya nakaka-harm or harmless to prevent injuries. Although some types of tests like radiographic testing still need to be conducted under strict conditions. And through this non-destructive test, hindi na-damage yung structure. And nowadays, this method has become a part of quality control process. Nowadays, so ito na yung ginagamit natin. As I research, ginagamit din natin ito dito sa Pilipinas, and it requires a skilled and experienced persons, kasi hindi siya basta-basta na gumamit din ng ganitong method. So, the purpose of non-destructive test is to meet the in situ progressive strength, uniformity, quality, and homogeneity. Tulad nga nagsabi ko kanina, through the purpose of doing this test, para malaman natin kung matibay, kung maganda pa, ano yung quality pa ng isang structure, whether new or old structure, and we can identify or through identifying areas of lower integrity and detection of presence of imperfection. Isa pa, our other purpose ng non-destructive test, we can monitor changes in the structure of the concrete. So, kaya siya non-destructive kasi pwede mo siyang ulit-ulitin na itest. Unlike destructive na talagang masisira siya yung structure. And then dito, sa non-destructive, we can monitor kung ano yung changes ng structure. So, another purpose, condition of reinforcement still with respect to corrosion. So, hindi lang yung concrete. Siyempre, alam naman natin na may bakal din yun. Kaya, matetesting dito kung anong condition ng steel and condition of grouting and pre-stressing cable ducts. So, there are different methods of NDT. Marami kami na-search pero we cited yung mga common methods. And there are 5 methods, which are penetration method, rebound hammer method, pull-out test method, ultrasonic pulse velocity method, and radioactive method. So, additionally, sa mga susunod na mga videos namin, we are going to present it individually. And karagdagan about this pala, may mga companies kaya nga sa Pilipinas na nagsusupply ng mga NDT products and also offering services like trainings. Kaya hindi lang taga-ibang bansa or other companies tulad ng Sifra, preparation ng supplier natin, kundi we're proud kasi tayo din sa Pilipinas. We're offering this products, and according to what I've researched, we have 9 companies na tag-by NDT or non-destructive test. So, according to sa www.businesslist.ph. So, hanggang dito lang po. And stay tuned here para sa mga ibang pang report about the value of this topic. So, thank you.
Hello sir, this is Dwight Wigan reporting on penetration test on concrete. Penetration resistance test is conducted on concrete structures using Windsor probe test machine. Windsor probe test system is a non-destructive test system for concrete comprehensive strength in the field. Windsor systems also measures the comprehensive strength of concrete, mortar, and brick in situ quickly and accurately. The purpose of penetration resistance test is used to determine the uniformity of concrete, specify the poor quality of deteriorated concrete zones, and evaluate the in-place strength of concrete. It is sometimes necessary to estimate the strength of concrete on site for early form removal or to investigate the strength of concrete in place because of low cylinder test results. Due to the nature of equipment, it cannot and should not be expected to yield absolute values of strength. The penetration resistance test on hardened concrete can be carried out based on the procedure and specification of standard test method for penetration resistance test. Penetration resistance test is conducted to estimate the strength of concrete on site for early form removal or to investigate the strength of concrete in place because of low cylinder test results. Here are 6 common quality tests on concrete before and after completion of casting site. Number 1. Slump test before leaving the batching plant and on arrival on site. Number 2. Comprehensive strength test. Number 3. Water permeability test. Number 4. Rapid chloride ion penetration test. Number 5. Water absorption test. And the last, initial surface absorption test. That's all, sir, for my report.
Good day, sir, and to you, groupmates. I am Jonalyn Potangna, and I am going to present the number 2 method of non-destructive testing of concrete, which is the rebound hammer method. The rebound hammer method is a surface hardness tester for which an empirical correlation has been established between strength and rebound number. The only known instrument to make use of the rebound principle for concrete testing is the Smith hammer, which weighs about 4 pounds or 1.8 kilogram. The rebound hammer consists of a spring-controlled hammer mass that slides on a plunger within a tubular housing. The hammer is forced against the surface of the concrete by the spring, and the distance of rebound is measured on a scale. The test surface can be horizontal, vertical, or at any angle, but the instrument must be calibrated in this position. Calibration can be done with cylinders 6 by 2 inches, 15 by 30 cm of the same cement and aggregate as will be used on the job. These are the example of rebound hammer method, which is the Smith hammer. There are also limitations and advantages. Ang advantage nito ay the Smith hammer provides an inexpensive, simple, and quick method of obtaining an indication of concrete strength. Habang ang limitation naman nito ay the result are affected by factors such as smoothness of surface, size and shapes of specimen, moisture, condition of the concrete, type of cement, and coarse aggregated, extent of carbonation of surface. This is all. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, sir. Good morning, classmate. I am John Paul Tayaban from BSc1 ICE2, reporting for pull-out test on concrete. First, I want to read the meaning of pull-out test on concrete. A pull-out test measured with a special ram the forces required to pull from the concrete a specially shaped steel rod whose enlarged end has been cast into the concrete onto a depth of 3 inches or 7.6 centimeter. Sabi dito ito yung ginagamit nila para matest yung concrete kung matibay pa. Ito yung isang steel rod, yung isang matulis na bakal na linulubog doon sa semento na ang haba is 3 inches para matest niya kung matibay pa. Okay, next. The concrete is simultaneously in tension and in shear, but the forces required to pull the concrete out can be related to its compressive strength. The pull-out technique can be thus measured quantitatively in the in strength of concrete when proper correlation have been made. Pull-out strength have a coefficient of variation comparable to that of compressive strength. Okay, we go to the limitation and advantages. They do give information on the maturity and development of strength of a representative part of it. The pull-out, of course, creates some minor damage. Pull-out tests do not measure the interior strength of mass concrete. Ang pagkakaintindi ko dito is Basta ito yung ginagamit nilang pang measure for, meron yung picture sana kaso hindi maano.
This is yan. And before, common methods of non-destructive testing of concrete is ultrasonic pulse velocity method. Ito ginagamit din sa Pilipinas. And common use. It says here, ultrasonic pulse velocity method is the only one of this type that shows potential for testing concrete. And so it measures the time of travel of an ultrasonic pulse passing the concrete. So the tool that is being used in this method is the ultrasonic pulse velocity. Kaya dito nanggaling yung method na ito kasi yung tool na ginagamit is ultrasonic pulse velocity. So this consists of a pulse generator and a pulse receiver. Pulses are generated by shock exciting piezoelectric crystals with similar crystals used in the receiver. The time taken for the pulse to pass through the concrete is measured by electronic measuring circuits, and this pulse velocity can be carried out in both laboratory size specimen and completed concrete structures. So ito, sa mga maliliit na size lang pang laboratory, ginagamit din ito for testing, and also sa mga nagawa na concrete structures. Either sabi ko nga, old structure or yung mga kagagawa lang na structures. There are some factors affect measurement. Kaya ito yung kailangan na binamad na yan din in using or in measuring, testing the concrete specimen. So there must be smooth contact with the surface under test. A coupling medium such as a thin film of oil is mandatory. It is desirable for butt lengths to be at least 12 inches or 30 centimeters in order to avoid any errors introduced by heterogeneity. There must be smooth contact with the surface under test, and there is increase in pulse velocity at below freezing temperature owing to fizzing of water from 5 to 30 degrees Celsius or 41 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Pulse velocities are not temperature dependent. So, kailangan din ng close contact, smooth contact din sa surface, and meron din palang sinusunod na talagang temperature. And the presence of reinforcing steel in concrete has an appreciable effect on the pulse velocity. So it is therefore desirable and often mandatory to choose pulse spots that avoid the influence of reinforcing steel or to make corrections if steel is with the pad. And ito, yung tsura ng ultrasonic pulse velocity test tool. So, dyan sa image, pang laboratory test lang yan. And there are images na ginagamit din for yung complete concrete structure. Pero yan lang yung nilagay muna namin. So, makikita natin, ito yung device. So, meron yung transducer na kinakabit. And then, yun yung concrete is specimen. So, there are applications and limitations. So, ano yung paano na i-apply, and yung mga hangganan lang ng through using this method, ultrasonic pulse velocity. It can be used on both existing structures and those under construction. If large differences in pulse velocity are found within the structure, it means that defective or deteriorated concrete is present. Though high pulse velocity readings are generally indicative of good quality concrete. So, nakita man natin na the higher the pulse velocity, naka-feet per seconds kasi yan. So, kung mataas yung readings niya, it means maganda yung condition na sa concrete. So, pag mababa, very poor na yan. And, another, it has been used to study the effects on concrete of freeze-thaw action, sulfate ducts, and acid waters. So, generally, yung damage degree ng isang concrete, super related siya dun sa pagbaba ng pulse velocity. Sabi nga yung kanina na may affected din. Kung mababa yung velocity, syempre, alam natin na may damage yung isang concrete. So, through using this method, madedetect niya yung mga damages or cracks ng isang concrete. Sometimes, the pulse does not travel through the damaged portion of the concrete. Kaya, great care should be experienced since it is often difficult to interpret results. So, isang limitation ng using this kasi hindi niya masyadong read talaga yung pinaka-tignong portion, kaya mahihirapan na mag-interpret din sa results sa test. And it can be used to estimate the rate of hardening and strength development of concrete in the early stages to determine when to remove from work. So, as concrete ages, the rate of the increase of pulse velocity slows down much more rapidly than the rate of the development of strength. Yes, natural naman yan. Kasi, mga tumatagal yung isang may depreciation o nag-depreciating siya. So, in summary, ultrasonic pulse velocity tests have a great potential for concrete control, particularly for establishing uniformity and detecting cracks or defects. And ultrasonic pulse velocity test is used for predicting strength is much more limited, owing the large number of variables affecting the relation between strength and pulse velocity. So, yan lang po. Ay, maraming salamat.
Radioactive method. Radioactive is another method for non-destructive test of concrete. Radioactive method, it can be used to detect the location of reinforcement, and it is also measure the density. It also used to check whether honeycombing has occurred in structural concrete unit. Honeycombing referred to the void in concrete caused by the mortar not filling the space, or ito yung tinatawag nila na pop rise. Gamma radiography is increasingly accepted in England and Europe. Radioactive method is increasingly accepted in England because of its more advantage. The equipment is quite simple and running costs are small, although the initial price can be high. And concrete up to 18 inches to 45 centimeter thick can be examined without difficulty. So, kayang-kaya pala ng radioactive method na i-examine ang 18 inches concrete or 45 centimeter.
The advantage of non-destructive testing. Non-destructive testing has been in existence for longer than many people assume. The first proper non-destructive testing technique was developed in the very late stage of the 19th century when X-rays were invented by a German physicist named Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. There are four main advantages of non-destructive testing. First is the safety issues can be identified. Non-destructive testing is used to ascertain whether or not a component is in need of repair and whether it is safe to use. The second is it provides reliability. If workers in industry want reliable and accurate result, non-destructive testing will offer stability. Third, it is cost-effective. Different type of industry work to different safety standard and need to comply to a range of rules and regulation. And the last, it offers reassurance. Reassurance is such a simple thing, but it can sometimes be the most important advantage to non-destructive testing.